Good evening, everyone. On behalf of the core team, Mental Health Webinar Series, and the organizer, the Department of Psychology, the American College Madurai, and the associating partners, Madras School of Social Work Chennai, Red Pond Educational and Psychological Research Center Madurai, Yellow Pond Counseling Center Madurai, MS Chellamuthu Institute of Mental Health and Rehabilitation Madurai, and Psycho-Oncological Association Turkey, we welcome you all to today's session 375 on self-branding. Today, we have our resource person, Dr. S. Kumaravel, who is currently working as an assistant professor at Rajiv Gandhi National Institute of Youth Development. And he has his Master of Social Work and Youth Development Specialization. He has his PhD in social work, and he's also pursuing his MSc in counseling and psychotherapy. He has organized and conducted trainings on life skills, peer education, parenting skills, youth and peace building, and employability skills across the country. He has also experiences working with UNFPA in implementing adolescent health and development project. He has also done researches on prevalence of anemia among adolescents. He has organized many international conferences on life skills education. He has got good set of research papers in national and international conferences and seminars. He has published his papers in national journals. His area of specialization is mainly adolescent health and development, youth work, life skills, training and development, data management, and analysis of social science research. Sir, we are very much happy to have you here today. And self-branding itself is a very trendy word to us. So we are looking forward to learn more about what it is. Thank you for being here. Now the session is over to you, sir.
Okay. So thank you, Miss. May I know your name?
Sir, I'm Chandra.
Yeah, in 3 minutes. Strength is about 40, 1-4. Very good. It's more than a football team or even a cricket team. So very good evening to one and all present here. And I'm very happy to present a small seminar. And first of all, I appreciate the Yellow Pond and the American College, the Department of Psychology, for organizing a mental health and well-being seminar series. And I'm so happy to present a nice seminar topic on self-branding. This is, I hope, 375th, like more than a golden or celebrated. Like, so I'm so happy. I think we have crossed more than 365 means you have already completed 1 year program, and it is your second year program. That too, the second year's 10th day program, I hope. So I'm so happy to explain on self branding. Okay. So shall I share my PPT? Okay.
Yes, sir, please.
Okay. So is it visible? May I know, is it visible?
Yes, sir, we can see it.
Slides are visible. I hope slides are visible.
Yes,
Okay.
sir, we can see it.
Yeah. So self-branding is one of the unique topic which comes under the self-awareness. I hope you know about 10 core life skills, which was proposed by World Health Organization in 1993. So they have identified 10 core life skills. So the first important life skill is self-awareness. So self-branding is one of the core uh, core skills, or even I can say that it is a skill set under self-awareness. So I hope you know self-awareness. Self-awareness is nothing but, identifying and acknowledging your own strength, weakness, your own thoughts, your own feelings, your own likes, dislikes, what you like, what you don't like, and even traveling, and even, going beyond, whatever that are inside you. So which means self-branding is identifying about yourself. So self awareness is identifying yourself, and it is a journey. So it is a journey throughout our life, and throughout our life, we are now and then identifying our weaknesses, strengths, weaknesses, and identifying our own likes, dislikes, and everything. So at one point of time, so we need to brand ourselves. We need to create our own branding. So this is what self-branding. So you have to create your personal brand. Say for example, there are many branches in psychology, and many people who study psychology, they choose a particular branch, and they choose a particular specialization in order to develop the competencies and develop all the abilities, to be a unique person in that particular field. So that uniqueness comes by the way of, identifying your strength and also developing your competencies and other, talents and other skills related to your job or related to your profession. So this is what self branding here I am talking about. And even if you take the social workers, there are a lot of branches or a lot of, fields in social work, and many people are working as a family and child welfare social work, and the people are working as a school social worker, and they can even work in the industrial settings, and they can even work in a correctional setting as a correctional social workers. And now there are a lot of other branches even in social where they can create their own self branding. Because now one of my students, Ms. Jayashri, she has pursued higher studies in a foreign university, and she had created her own branding. Like, she now becomes as a maternal social worker, and she is now, giving a lot of counseling and taking session to the pregnant woman, and she solves all the fertility issues problems by, having the tag of, maternal social worker. This is what self branding all about. So Ralph Waldo Emerson, he says that what lies behind us and what lies before us are tiny matters compared to what lies within us. So what is within you? What is your passion? So what motivates you? What are your uniqueness? How you would like to stand out, and how you would like to, come out from your comfortable zone to courageous zone. So all these, comprises in self-branding. So we are now going into the topic, and so self-branding is nothing but how you create your own image, what is your mission, and what is your passion, and what is your vision, and what values do you have, and how you create finally your branding. So as I said that it is a creating a uniform public image. So how people see you. See, there are many engineers, there are many doctors, there are many designers. So there are many people in the field they are working. But why people want a particular, go to particular hospital, and they want a particular doctor to be treated them. So it is all about the image which they have created for, and that demonstrates these values and the overall reputation. And it is a relationship with you as an individual who exist separately from your company. So you may be working in many organizations or even the companies, even many educational institutions, but how you stand out and how you create your own relationship between you, and how you create your own branding. That means how you stand out from your company. Even if you are working in a particular company, so when people want a particular service to be done, like even whatever maybe as I said, medicine or engineering or whatever services that they want, so how they identify that particular, why they want a particular person. Even in educational institutions also, why the students like a particular teacher. So what is his personal branding? How she or he has created a reputation or created a influence among the students community. So that is what the self branding. So it is a process of personal branding which involves one is finding your uniqueness, then building a reputation on the things you want to be known for, and allowing yourself to be known for them. And also ultimately the goal is to create something very new and that conveys a message that can be uh, monetized. So this is what. So before that, you need to find out who you are, and you also have to analyze or evaluate yourself about what and how others see you. So, for example, what presently or currently people are thinking about you. So this is about one area, and then what you want them to think of you. So what you want to show to them, and then what you don't want to think of you. So think I something we don't want. So it could be your weaknesses, or it could be your bad habits, or whatever may be. So what you don't want them to think of you. So these are all the important three areas in which you need to manage all this to create your brand. See what people think of you and what you want them to show up to others is something what is great, and what people currently think of you and what you don't want them to think of you, something which is bad you don't want to. So you have to show more about what people want you to think of you, what people you want them to think of you, and you have to show less about what you don't want them to think of you. So if you reduce this one, which means some of your weaknesses, and if you increase your strength, and if you increase your other potentials and values and everything, then you could be a great and you can create a best self branding. So there are 5 steps for self branding. One is acknowledge your uniqueness, then stand out, be your own boss, forget about a ladder, and build your branding. Now let us see one by one. So the first one is acknowledge your uniqueness through expanding your self-awareness. So it could be achieved through one is practice of feedback analysis. See, acknowledge your uniqueness is as we know that our thumb impression is very unique to all of us. So it is very unique. Like our thumb impression, so you need to create your own uniqueness. So for which you have to first practice feedback analysis. Some something which we call even in self-awareness is getting 360-degree feedback. So this 360-degree feedback is, you can get it from your parents, your known people, your well-wishers, your friends, and even from your enemies. So it is nothing but, you need to ask about yourself. Suppose if they give a lot of compliments, positive stories about yourselves, that you need to even strengthen more. And you need to first acknowledge those things if it is a very genuine positive story. Otherwise, if you have a doubt over your positive feedback or even the positive comments, you have to think it whether am I eligible or whether am I uh, to that up to that mark. So you have to first analysis the feedback which you are getting from 360-degree, and then you need to whatever. It's not only the positive stories or the positive compliments, or even a lot of other characteristics, positive characteristics that people praise you or think of you, and but also you have to ask them that in which area you need to correct yourselves. So what are your drawbacks? So in which you need to improve further. So that also will help everyone to overcome our weaknesses, and even convert your weakness into strength. Then get to know your strength. So when you get feedback analysis, definitely you will get to know your strength, and you have to focus only on your strength. See, as I told you, there are people, who mix their strength into weaknesses sometimes. So sometimes many people have their weaknesses. So even that weaknesses sometimes, they make it mix with their strength. For example, I'll tell you, if a person is a very good driver and that is his strength. Suppose if the person is a drunkard, if he is an alcoholic, then what happens, even though if he is a very good driver, but if he takes a drink and then drives, drink and drive, so you know what happens. So that is how, we have to develop further our strength and we never mix our strength with the weaknesses. So then weaknesses will also, sorry, strength also will become weakness. So you need to get to know about your strength through feedback analysis and ask different questions to yourself to explore you. So you have to ask. So you need to have a personal SWOT analysis for which, in which you have to sit and then you have to do this SWOT analysis for every 6 months in order to explore about yourselves, and you need to ask different questions to yourself. It is called questioning, or even it is called uh, uh, self-analysis or self-evaluation. So this is one thing through which you can identify your uniqueness and also acknowledge for expanding your self-awareness. So the next is you have to stand out by your values, by your motivations, by your energy and joy, the vision and the mission or even the passion that you have in your life, and also what you would like to contribute to the society. So the second thing talks about, what are your values? So how integrity value that you have. So what is your honesty? What is your respectfulness? So what is your, value towards managing your time, punctuality? So what are your values, your responsibility, and your even your accountability? So these are all your values. So how you respect others, how you value others, how you prove yourself as an integrity uh, uh, as integrity people, and all these your values. So you have to develop all your values. You should never give up your values for any of the other tiny matters. So you should be very, very unique in your value system. Then what motivates you? So for example, for some people, uh, it's for different people, different things motivates them. So you need to identify. Suppose if you feel so happy and if you are in a uh, uh, very happiest mood or joyous mood, then you need to identify that why I am so happy. So what motivates me? So there are many people, even a small positive stroke sometimes motivate them. So if you appreciate them, that motivates them. So for some people, if they complete the job, that motivates them. For some people, if they get some even money or material or something, that motivates them. Or you have to identify what really motivates you. So is it the appraisal? Sorry, is it the price, or is it the positive stroke which motivates you, appreciation or whatever? So that you need to list out and you need to work on it. Suppose if you are completing your task on time, that itself will motivate you. Okay. Suppose if you think that even you are a intrinsic motivator, so within self motivator, if that works out, then you have to. Or if you think that some of my teachers or well wishers, if I listen to them and the way they appreciate me, that motivates me. The way they encourage me, that motivates me. Then you have to talk to them. You have to even you can say example, your goal. Suppose if you set a goals and if you achieve a short-term goal, that motivates you to go for your long-term goal, and that you need to set a goals. So those things which motivates you, which encourages you, appreciates you, should be identified and you need to work on it. And then what gives you energy and joy? So when you are so happy, when you get a lot of energy, whether in the morning or evening or in the noon time, so that you need to identify. So if something motivates you, definitely that also leads to give you of energy and joy. So you'll be so having a zeal and zest. So you have to identify those energy boosters and what really makes you too happy and joy. And what do you stand for in your life? So what is your thing? See, many people. What you stand for in your life is you have to set a goal. As I told you that you don't have a tag like I am a general social worker or I am a general psychologist or whatever may be. Now nothing is general. Even in economics, lot of branches specializations are there. Even in MBA, lot of branches and specialization. Engineering, lot of branches and specializations are there. So you have to decide now itself, and towards that you need to fail and you need to travel towards to achieve what you want to stand in your life, and then through which how you would like to contribute to the society. Even most of the people the way if they contribute to the society, if they contribute to something, to some marginalized community or some people for the poor or something, so if they contribute, that itself motivates them. So you have to identify what what you want to stand in life, where you want to go, and what kind of job you want to get, and to which segment of people or community you want to contribute or serve. So this is about stand out. The third one is be your own boss. So accept yourself as you are. So that is self-acceptance. You need to accept even if you have some of weaknesses or some of the negative feelings or whatever may be, but that is your own character. You need to first accept yourself. So you should not reject, you should not compare yourself with others and then feel having a low self-esteem. So first you need to accept yourself. So only when you accept yourself, you will be able to accept others also. So accept yourself is accepting your responsibility. You have to accept your responsibility. You have to accept your role in your family. You have to accept whatever role that you play in the society. Like in the family, you are a son, daughter, or a husband or wife. So whatever may be. So you need to accept your own responsibility. And beyond that, when you settle in a profession, you need to accept the responsibility for your own growth. The acceptance is nothing but so acceptance makes you to be a leader. So for your own growth, then know what you want. So you should know what you really want to go for, which means when you are settled down in a life that so you have to you should know that where I want to stand. So you have to treat as a to your conscious. You need to be kind to yourself, and you need to spend a lot of time with you. So you know that the person with whom we are spending a lot of time in our lifetime is ourselves. So we spend a lot of time with ourselves. So you have to identify what you want, so you should know. And then you need to control your focus. I've been seeing people, they are selecting a job and then immediately after 3 months, they switch on to other new job. And then they are go on. Sometimes if they don't perform well, sometimes if they don't, specialized or develop a particular in a, competencies in a particular field, and they go switch over job to job. So in that sense, they cannot be a very specialist or cannot create their own brand, and so they lose their focus. They lose their focus. So you need to control your focus, and even controlling your focus is even it could be like if you set a goal, you have to work on your goal, and you need to travel with your goal. So you have to have a focus mind. Then forget the ladder. So you have to grow from within you. So grow from within you. So you need to work on lot, to grow from within you, and you have to follow your true interest and be patient, strive for excellence and enjoy the process. And the main thing is to get out from your comfort zone. So if you are entering into zone, you need to forget about your comfort zone. So here I am talking about the comfort zone and courage zone. See, most of the people are so comfortable and they don't want to go beyond a circle. So they limit themselves, they limit, their things which they are enjoying. So they are so relaxed, they are so safety and security. So they are things, so they are freedom from any risk. So things which they are usually doing, they are in a routine world, routine kind of things that they are doing. So this is called a comfortable zone. So how they have to move from comfortable zone to courage zone? So is like they have to first take lot of risk. They need to have lot of bravery, and they need to go for adventuristic activities. They go for somewhat higher duty, or it could be like a promotion. They need to create the opportunity for them, and then which are difficult for them, they should try in their lifetime. So these are all some of the things in which through they could move from comfortable zone to courage zone. So what happens when they move from comfortable zone to courage zone is, so this first time when they are moving, so they may have lot of pain. They may have lot of uncomfortableness. So when they move, and that uncomfortable would become comfortable to them, and that is called courage zone. So it is like stretching your body. So when first day you start stretching your body, you may have lot of pain, joint pain or neck pain, or even the muscle pain and all. So if you are daily routinely doing this one stretching, then your body flexible and you will feel so comfortable. So this is how stretching. So even in one of the book called Happiness is an Inside Job, which was written by John Powell. He says about stretching. He calls it as a, which he is not calling from comfortable zone to courage zone. He is calling it as a stretching. So you need to stretch. So you need to feel so uncomfortable in the beginning, and then it will become a comfortable to them. So the 60% of the things, or 60% of the time, or they are with their own comfortable zone. So 40% they go and then they can succeed in their life. So only 40%. You are now in 60%. So only you move on to other 40%, you will get a success. So that is called from comfortable zone to courage zone, moving from comfortable zone. Then the third one is, sorry, fifth one is creating your own brand. So by doing all these exercises, like uniqueness, and then maintaining your value systems, and creating your own identity, the responsibility, and moving from comfortable zone to courageous zone. Then when you do all these exercises, then you can create your own brand. So most of the people, when they ask, you may be working in a particular organization in a particular designation, but what you want to, even in your designation, what you want to be called. Okay, so you need to be very, very genuine when you create your own brand, and you have to take a stand. Communicate all your qualities, all your values and goals by actions, not by words. So you know that so many people are just talkative. They will be always talking that I would like to be this. I will create myself as this. So you need not to talk everything. So you have to prove it by action, and creative value of what you do to others. It's about giving. So you need to give to others. See, actually this self branding, if you browse, and all of this self branding or personal branding, or linked to a kind of entrepreneurship. So even the entrepreneurs only they create their own self branding. But I'm talking in a different way that as an individual, as a social scientist, as a psychologist, as a social workers, as a students, as a young professionals. So how we need to create our own brand as a brand, because now you know about the job market. So job market is very job market is going in a very tedious entering. So which means many people are losing their job because they don't have any employability skills, and they don't create any kind of branding about their own selves, and they don't take risk by working, taking risk and working with the commitment and with the responsibility. So this is what the even the people, even the employees also want from all of us, for all the young generations, young professionals. So you have to create value of what you do to others. It's about giving. Then creating a build network of partners. So nowadays, through social network and social platform, it is very easy to create a network of partners. And a lot of platforms are there. Even the many people nowadays are posting their own creative videos in YouTube, and they are creating their own branding. And many people are now are in Insta, so they create their own blog, and they post all their creative things. And even what Miss Jayashree, who is the maternal social worker, she has created her own Insta blog, and through which she is doing all the services like giving counseling and giving education on maternal health. So you may have to create a network of partners, so which help others to grow too, and collect your testimonials and the portfolios. You need to create a uh, uh, very passionate and very genuine personal portfolio, which should attract you. So first step, even if it is a 1 page or 2 page, don't create some 8 page or 10 page of resume or kind of what people develop curriculum vitae. So even if it is because when I was working in Bangalore, I'm talking about 21 years back, in Mafia consultancy, and I used to see just 1 page a portfolio or 1 page testimonials about a particular well-branded engineers or well-branded CEOs. And we used to headhunt. Headhunt means, it, one of the senior manager or a CEO, executive officers is working in a particular company, so the same person they required for other companies. So we are assigned to hunt them. Hunt them means if they were getting 10 lakh per month, I'm talking about in 2002, 2001. So if they are getting 10 lakh per year, if the purse is 10 lakh per year, and we have to hunt them for 12 lakhs, so 2 lakhs extra. So this is called headhunting. So when I was collecting their portfolios like a CV and all, I could see that it is only 1 page portfolio. So through which we have this is enough for them to it is called their self branding. They would have given a very small kind of introduction about themselves. So through which and they are known for, they are also have created their own identity. So this is what I want. So finally, I would like to end with what is your purpose? Finding living your own definition or success and helping others do the same. Then what are your core values? So your curiosity, your courage, your trustworthiness, your balance and compassion, your strengths and your skills and your credibility and your tangible brand elements. So this is what makes a self-branding. So this is about the pyramid of self-branding. So finally, I would like to end with, identity does not derive from our nationality, position, or social status. So it is a combination of our strengths, talents, patience, our passions, and the purpose that you bring to your life. So this is what the self-identity and self-branding. So thank you so much to one and all for listening to me. So I now conclude my presentation. If you have, I'm happy to answer.
Thank you very much, Kumaravel sir, for your thought-provoking presentation. There were lots of insights for us to realize and introspect where we are and what we have worked on to promote self. So now it's time to discuss. We request the participants to unmute your mics and question the resource person or share your thoughts on this topic. Or you can put your questions in the chat box. We can discuss. Thank you. So we have feedback for you in the chat box. And they say it is very sweet, crisp, and informative. And there is one question. Why is it important to brand yourself? What does personal branding include?
Okay. See, there are many people working in Google. Okay. So when we talk about Google, we cannot omit Mr. Sundar Pichai. Why? Because he has created his own branding. This is what you take uh, any settings or any job or any position. So in each positions or in each one, even if you go to any colleges or any industries or any institutions and agencies, so there may be people who have created their own branding and that is their own identity. So where they are mostly wanted person in the particular institutions. Why? Because they had created their own branding. So created their own branding is they have created their own identity. They have a unique talents. Okay, so they have even as their own reputation in the particular organization. So this is what makes us to be a self-branded person. Okay, so you take any other field, even if you take in film industry, cinema, if you take industries. So why particular people are, see, it is not that I'm saying that only one person should create a brand in the whole industry. If you take in cinema, cine industries or whatever. But there are many people have created their own branding for their own unique talents. If you take nowadays, even in Hindi also you take, okay. So why Amir Khan has created? He has his own reputation. He has his own talents. He has his own, a lot of image. So then Salman Khan, Shah Rukh Khan, or even if you come to Malayalam, okay, so Mammootty, Mohanlal, and now even the new heroes in Telugu film, there's Vijay Devarkonda here, Vijay Sethupathi. He has created a very good reputation and self-image, sorry, public image for himself. So this is what I am saying. I'm not saying that he is the only self-branded ambassador. So I'm saying that he is one of the ambassadors in the industry. Okay. So if you take in any industries or any field, so there are people who had created for their own unique talents, for their own unique values, for their own unique other uniqueness, which is since because they stand out from others, they show differently. Okay, so this is what I think is self branding. It is very important nowadays because employers, the job industry, the job market, looks for a person who has his own uniqueness, talents, personal reputations and personal image. Beyond that, a person who has passion towards his own job. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. There is one question. Could you please explain forget the ladder? I think it's step 4, sir. Step 4 or
Okay. Yeah, sorry. See,
yeah,
the
sir.
forget ladder is, many people are even still hanging in the ladder. So they may be, going back and seeing that, I have crossed these, I've been overcoming all these hurdles. So they will be always talking about their the past history, that how, what are the hurdles or what are the difficulties they faced, what are the challenges that they have been facing over the period. But what forgetting ladder is, you have to sometimes should not look back. See, if you look back and only thing is, you don't enjoy your life. So you will have a lot of, kind of hatred feelings or a kind of, feelings that you have. So you have to forget all those things that you have come across, whatever challenges that you have overcome, whatever difficulties or hurdles that you faced all year in your life. So you need to look look forward. So this is what forget the ladder. So many people are, I'm not talking about, you should forget entirely about who helped you, who supported you, all those. But forgetting ladder is that, some of your difficulties, some of your challenges that you have learned from that challenges. You have learned from those difficulties, and you have to uh, take the learning forward, not the again the difficulties with you.
So there is another question: how to create strong individuality?
Say, uh, to create strong individuality, you have to do uh, practice analysis, that means feedback, getting feedback. The first one is practice feedback analysis. So if you want to really uh, show your individuality, create your individuality, you need to practice feedback analysis, and you need to ask a lot of questions to yourself to expose yourself. So this is the first step. So that is what the first step, creating your own individuality. Which means you have to get feedback from others. See, most of us, hesitate to get feedback from others. We think that, if somebody says negative about us, that may hurt us. No, even many people may give you positive feedback. Some people may give, some people may criticize you. So you have to take all those things, and then you need to first analyze that. You should not take all the raw data as it is. So you have, and whatever applicable to you, really, if you need to change your attitude, if you need to change your behavior, and if you need to change any of your characteristics, then you have to uh, accept it with pain, and then you can come out with your own individuality and identity. So many people, they don't take any feedback from others. So that is the only thing that, people, they do not, develop their individuality and develop their strength. The easy way is to do the SWOT analysis. So that will help them. Thank
Sir, there are a couple of questions. Last questions about honesty in getting feedback, sir. One participant has asked, how do we get honest feedback to learn from our weakness? And the other question is, as per Johari window, only when we disclose about our strength and weakness to others, we will be feeling confident to give, they will be feeling confident to give frank feedback for us.
Okay.
And this person has learnt it from Mahatma Gandhi's autobiography, sir. But he says that your views are a little bit contradicting to what is being presented there.
My view
Yeah,
regarding
regarding feedback, sir. He says, as per Johari window, when we disclose about our strength and weakness to other people, they can give they feel confident about giving a frank feedback to us.
yeah. See, actually, Johari window says that there are 4 pans. So one is solicit feedback. That means you need to invite feedbacks from others, and then you have to give feedback, self-disclosure, which means you need to disclose about yourselves to others. I mean, so when you disclose, you can get the feedback. I'm not talking that you should get feedback from unknown people, but from known people. I'm talking about from the known people with whom we are interacting. Suppose if you are studying in the PG in 2 years, after 2 years, or even after completing 1 year, so people know about you. You need not self-disclose. That means you need not share everything to them. Okay, which means as per the Johari window, it is okay. It is to Johari window is to a strong interpersonal relationship. It is not related to self-awareness. Actually, it is this exercise is we use this exercise and activity for interpersonal relationship, and sometimes we use it for self-awareness also. But for self-awareness, it may not be applicable. Okay, so in that case, I agree that you have to first disclose. You need to disclose everything to others. Then only you can get the feedback from others. So information known to others and then information known to self. So then only you can have a open window. So you can extend the open window. I agree that, but slowly it is possible if you have a good relationship with others, even in your colleagues, with your colleagues, with your family members. First, you get feedback from your family members, known people, well wishers, friends, and everybody, and even the colleagues. Is it satisfactory or?
Sir, I am Muthu.
Oh,
I have
yeah,
only asked this question in
yeah, please,
the chat
yes,
box.
tell me, sir. Yeah, please, sir.
Like, for example, if you take Mahatma Gandhi's autobiography, what he did is he disclosed himself around 100%. There is nothing
Okay,
hidden.
okay,
All is past. So
okay.
once you do that particular thing, you
Mm.
branded yourself so well. Like he's around the world. Anywhere in the world you go, autobiography of Mahatma Gandhi. That is the story of my experiments with truth.
Mm.
Is well known, read by great leaders.
Okay.
It connects with him very easily, and then they will be easy to very eager to confident to give any feedback.
Okay.
So even with the public also, if you are confident, I feel we can share the personal informations.
Yeah. Yes. That is what. So whomever you trust, you can share.
But
Even to
in his case, he trusted the whole world. He opened out like in the autobiography when you read,
yeah.
it literally opens out about himself throughout the world.
Yes, you need to be the open book to others.
Yes, then in
You
that
should
case,
not show one. Yeah, that's what you should not show only your cover page.
uh, so thank you, sir. Because that the third slide which you have shown, it was contradicting. Like no, that whatever you want to project, you want the other people to know in the world, whatever whatever the others you know about you, and whatever you want to keep to yourself. That was contradicting. That's why I mentioned. But now I got the answer.
Oh,
Thank you, sir. It's a really wonderful session.
thank you, sir.
And
Any
inspiring.
other question? Sir?
It's very inspiring, and in a very short time, you covered a very profound and wonderful the concepts. It's really wonderful. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Sir, thank you very much, sir. To conclude the question answer part, there is one question, sir, which I also feel very interesting. How do we get the honest feedback, sir? how do we know it is really honest? Because, when we have well-wishers or friends or family around us, not everyone, be honest in telling what it is. They always some wanted to keep us happy and say only the positive side. And some, keep like pulling and say the gray side. So how do we know, sir, it is really honest?
To me, I usually say that, people give or two feedback. One is the genuine feedback, as you said, the strokes, genuine stroke, and then other one is the plastic stroke. Okay. So the plastic stroke we can easily identify. The plastic stroke is, it is a false feedback about ourselves, or sometimes it could be an exaggerated feedback. So that we can easily identify only if you are honest to others. If you give honest feedback to others, definitely you will also get honest feedback. It's not just by assumption, but if you open to others, and definitely whatever that you get feedback very openly from others, so you can easily assess. That's what I said. See, you can get feedback, but after getting feedback, you need to analyze it. You need to analyze it. Whether is this feedback is genuine or not? Is it really helpful to me? Am I that kind of person? Or uh, uh, is there any, as you said that, is it a fake feedback? Or whether they are, criticizing us? So you can easily identify that one. Okay. So that's what you have to collect the data, and then you need to analyze and then accept. And for which you need to do a lot of exercises.
Sir, one more suggestion.
Yes.
If I can
Yes.
add.
Yes, sir.
What I do is, for example, when I complete a course in a college, like for example, last semester I finished one course for titled Crafting Personal Constitution and Shaping Life for one college. So what I did is, after taking the feedback, I have a feedback discussion session.
Yes, yes, very good.
Where I just sum up the whole positive, negative, everything I sum up and then discuss it in the class.
Okay.
And if something is very shocking type of feedback, then I have a discussion with the individual student also to understand what exactly they're coming to say. So that way also we come to know what is one of my suggestions, like one way of getting to know the truth and getting to know what exactly they're coming to say. But sometimes they write something, but what they meant is different.
Okay. Yes.
Discussion session also helps a lot in this.
Yes, yes. Yeah, I agree that. So when you do in classroom settings, when you ask the students to give feedback about, each one, we usually do that for a part of the self-awareness exercise. What we do, we ask each one to pin a white sheet on every student back, and then they have to write a positive feedback about themselves. That means their good qualities, talents, their characteristics, and everything. They have to write in a just one line, one word or something. So then we ask them to see it and ask their opinion, ask their feedback, even the individual feedback. Whether do they accept, whether do they acknowledge, whether is it true or is it exaggerated, is it honest or false or fake. So students themselves are able to identify and they are able to accept it. So whatever they feel that it is not a genuine, they are able to identify. So as Sar said, it could be also done through group discussion. It will help us. So sometimes people may write something, but they may have something in their mind. But when you really ask the real meaning of the sentence, they may reveal it during the discussion session. So that will help. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Kumaravel sir. Sir, participants are requesting your contact. Can you please share your email ID in the chat box, sir?
Yes, yes, sir. Sure.
So it was wonderful also on the participant sides today for having asked so many questions, and it was like, thought provoking, and it was a good learning experience for all of us. Keep continuing this with every session. Thank you very much. And it is also time to thank our resource person today. And he has been rendering a very warm and very thoughtful presentation today. And we have learned quite a lot of things about, as I said earlier, how to promote self and how it is important in our lives. So on behalf of the core team and all the organizers of this mental health webinar series, we give our heartfelt thanks to you, sir, for all your valuable contribution today and also your time. Thank you very much. And also we thank all the participants for being with us and continuing to travel with us this far. Thank you for all your support. So see you all tomorrow in another session, the same link, same time. Until then, bye-bye, good night.
So thank you so much. Thank you to the Yellow Fund and also the Madurai American College and all my friends who attended this seminar and also for listening patiently and even asking a lot of questions and clarifying. So thank you so much. Thank you, Ms. Chandra. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Hope to see you soon sometime in the sessions.
Okay. Thank you. I'm leaving now. I've given my contact email as well as my mobile.
Yes, sir. We have received in the chat box. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Thank you.